This is DK guys, and here's how to spend a week in Zagreb. I'm gonna tell you how to spend 5 days in Zagreb, Croatia. Yeah, don't. Me and my friends made the mistake of going to the city thinking it would be as fun as going to the beaches. And guess what? We were wrong. There is nothing wrong with the city, don't get me wrong. It's just very empty in summer and isn't big enough to spend a whole week on. I would recommend 2 or 3 days max and then move on to Ljubljana or Italy or somewhere nearby. So you've landed in Zagreb airport and you want to go to the city. What do? You can take trains, trams or buses. The city has a very good public transport system, but you can only buy tickets in these small newspaper kiosks and they aren't very common around the city. So instead what me and my friends did throughout the whole trip was use Ubers and taxis, as they are very cheap compared to Western standards. You can basically go from one end of the city to the other at 10 euros max with an Uber, so we were happy with using them throughout the whole time. When you're in the center of Zagreb, you can see that the architecture style gives off Renaissance and a mixture of Soviet-style Eastern European buildings. And there are a lot of features that makes the city more Eastern European than a Western one, in my opinion. I think these features are the abundance in statues, the huge and very detailed train stations, and the Soviet-style depressing buildings, as I've said, right outside the city center. Also, this is my first Eastern European country that I've traveled to, so don't roast me in the comments if I get any of these wrong, please. Also, it feels like the country is still developing, trying to recover from the war 30 years ago, and trying to become more Western still. They had just switched their currency from the Croatian kuna to the euro just this year in January 2023. And most of the big monuments that we tried to visit were being renovated. These were the Cathedral of Zagreb and St. Mark's Church, two of the biggest things to see in Zagreb. For tourist destinations, the must-see places in Zagreb are the Upper and Lower Town. In Upper Town, there are beautiful streets, buildings, including St. Mark's Church, and a great view of the city. There is also this super long underground tunnel in Upper Town. This was built as a bomb shelter during World War II, and now it's a lesser known tourist attraction that hosts cultural events from time to time. I would definitely recommend. The Lower Town's architecture is as amazing. You should see the numerous parks here, which I think are the most beautiful sides of the city. Outside of Lower Town, you can see similar beautiful scenery in Park Maksimir and Mirogoj Cemetery. And of course the famous city center, which is Ban Josep Jelačić Center. I'm sorry for butchering that name. Nightlife in Zagreb is limited compared to big European cities, but there are still a few streets where you can find bars and nightclubs. But beware, most of these places accept cash only. And Zagreb is one of the few places in Croatia that accept cash only. So come prepared, but it is not too bad as the city is cheap for tourists. The oldest mode of transport in Zagreb and the shortest in the whole world with 63 seconds is the funicular, which I would highly recommend for tourists. Built in 1890, it connects Lower and Upper Town and it costs €1 per person. As for Croatian food, it definitely got me more interested into the Balkan cuisine. I think it's quite interesting. I think you should try Istrian truffles, jevapi, I think that's how you say it, strukli, and burek, which is influenced by Bosnian and Turkish cuisines. And don't forget the black risotto, which is quite famous in the Dalmatian region and in Italy. It is colored black with squid ink. For museums, the city is bustling. Some of my favorite museums are the Museum of Broken Relationships, Museum of Contemporary Art, Zagreb City Museum, and Nikola Tesla Museum. There are so many others you may like, so definitely do your research, but these are my personal favorites. Oh, and before we finish the video, I missed a few more big places, so let's list them now.